Democracy means recognition of the rights of others. Democracy means the equality of all in the eyes of the law. Democracy means equality of opportunity for all in education, in the public service, and in private employment. Democracy means freedom of worship for all and the subordination of the rights of any one race to the overriding right of the human race. Our national flag belongs to all our citizens. Our national coat of arms with our national birds inscribed therein is the sacred trust of all our citizens. So it is today. Please, I urge you, let it always be so. Let us always be able to say with the psalmist, behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. As the citizens of an independent country, we must preserve the qualities we have developed in the testing period before independence. We must work even harder than in the past. The watchwords I have chosen for the nation are discipline, production, tolerance. I appeal to you to let them ever be your guide to conduct. If we do this, we will build a nation which can hold its head high and be accepted anywhere in the world, and which any other nation will be glad to welcome as a friend. As we march forward to our great day, let us do so as a united people, bridging all the differences of class, race, color, and creed. Let us make a living reality of our new motto. Together we aspire. Together we achieve.
Good morning, Mayaro, and welcome to Seine Talk. Today is Saturday, October 22nd, 2022. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Yes, listeners, welcome. And yes, it's a bright and sunny day here in the city of Mayaro this morning. And boy, do we have a packed show for you today. We're going to try to see if we can get in as much as possible, because you know what we do. We inform, educate, and try to entertain in relation to same. So, this morning, we think that it's important that we start off with a word of prayer. Why? Because there is so much happening. And remember, the ills don't take a time out. So you have to always keep prayed up. You have to keep your prayer tank on full all the time. And this morning, we're going to try in relation to same.
I pray for you. I pray a way for you. I pray that destiny doors fly open for you. Divine favor remember you. Scepters be extended to you. Oh, I pray for you. I pray that the angels of the Lord encamp around you, that goodness and mercy follow you, that the joy of the Lord be your strength. Oh, I pray for you. I pray a way for you. I pray that your way prospers in all things, and that you be in good health, that you prosper, even as your soul prospers. I pray for you. I pray ways for you, open doors for you, more ups than downs for you. Oh, I pray for you. I pray love on you, God's love on you. I pray power in you, God's power in you. I pray hope to lighten you. I pray joy to strengthen you. I pray a renewing of your mind and a transforming of your spirit and an empowering of your heart. Oh, I pray for you. I pray bright days and restful nights, that goodness and mercy follow you all the days of your life, and that the angels of the Lord encamp about you. Oh, I pray for you. I pray for you. I pray vision for you, faith and mercy for you. I pray the courage and strength that you need to stand, that whatever you are going through and wherever you are right now, I pray that it will not overcome you, but that you will overcome it. pray courage for you, courage to fight, faith to believe, power to stand. Oh, I pray for you. I pray Psalm 91 on you, Psalm 46 on you, Isaiah 60 on you, Isaiah 43, 2-3 on you, Romans 8 and 28 on you, Psalm 23 and Psalm 27 on you. I pray word on your life, the word of God on your life for you. You shall not die. You shall not die. You shall not die. You shall live. So live to declare the works of the Lord. Oh, I pray life on you, and life more abundantly. I pray showers of blessing on you, restoration and refreshing, replenishing and renewing on you. Oh, I pray for you. I pray peace like a river, joy like a fountain, and hope like the breaking of a new day. I pray God before you, God beneath you, God above you. I pray He carries you, supports and empowers you. I pray He lightens your way and lifts your load, disperses your enemy and delivers your soul. Oh, I pray for you. I pray that you remember today, tomorrow, and always that greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world. I pray for you.
Yes, listeners, and that's our word of prayer this morning. Very strong, very strong. And of course, Psalm 91, the late great Lord Bishop Vernon T. Perez, that was one of his favorite psalms. So good morning to listeners across the diaspora, anywhere on the planet. Welcome to Seine Talk. And yes, listeners, we take our function here of bringing that information to you very, very, very serious. And that is why when what we do it with the goodness and a clean heart. This morning, we're going to start off by looking at our dailies. And you know, we keep asking, why is not good news so glorified? In other words, persons say, well, it's to sell. You know, bad things sell, ill things sell. If you put a newspaper with only good things, you may not get a sale. But before we go into our dailies, we want to commemorate Calypso History Month 2022. And we're going to start off with a very powerful song from our brother, the Stallion. Take it away, DJ.
To feel that life is over just because we throw a few pennies down the gutter. We seem to feel everything is lost, so we're fighting to get back something at any cost. But while we're searching just to get back that little something, we forgetting we knows nothing about this world in which we live in. Someone greater put this world together, so we must remember, in times of plenty we must be grateful. In times of sorrow we must be strong. In times of joy we must be thankful, because life really have its ups and its downs. In times of disaster we must be ready to join together and move racism out the way. And if you listen to this watchword from your lover, Black Stallion, tomorrow would be a better day. Better day, better day, better day. We meet a world today with 4 seasons. Who is we to try and find out what's the reason? And what goes wrong so must come back wrong so. Why that is so, nobody don't know. And there are so much other mysteries that nobody still can answer. So we just gotta say thanks and keep looking to the future, because this world is not ours to control, it is just to behold. In times of plenty we must be grateful. In times of sorrow we must be strong. In times of joy we must be thankful, because life really have its ups and its downs. In times of disaster we must be ready to get together and move racism out the way. And if you listen to this watchword from your lover, Black Stallion, tomorrow would be a better day. Better day, better day, better day. We go through this life we live in, we must know by now that this world owes us nothing. So live your life and just enjoy it, and let's try to leave this world better than we find it. Because the maker of this world with nobody have no contract, it have no paper that could tell we that tomorrow going to come back. Look ahead, for tomorrow you're dead, after all is said. In times of plenty we must be grateful. In times of sorrow we must be strong. Of joy we must be thankful, because life really have its ups and its downs. In times of disaster we must be ready to get together and move racism out the way.
Yes, in times of plenty, you must be grateful, right? Going forward. So we start off this morning and looking at our 3 main dailies, and we start off with the Newsday. Right, on the front page of today's Newsday, UNC MP coup on the Constitution. That is on page 5, that story is on page 5. And a picture on the front page, a mother's tears. Vidya Lal, mother of Karipichaima West Secondary School student, who was beaten by other students who also attacked a maxi taxi driver, wipes away tears as she speaks during a press conference at Jenny's on the Boulevard restaurant on Friday. At left is the school's PTA head, Michelle Omar Lieber. Right, the photo is by Angelo Marcel. So that, listeners, that is in connection with something that was making the rounds on social media. As you saw where this guy was beaten by students at the side of a maxi, right? And there, we'll have to talk a little bit more about that. Also on the front page of today's Newsday, Law Association to Attorney General Amor, come clean on Nelson's deal. And of course, on the back page of today's Newsday, stakeholders irate after West Indies ousted from World Cup qualifiers. Heads must roll. What an understatement. Listeners, West Indies was beaten out of the World Cup. And the fact of the matter is, here, the teams that our great region played, Scotland, Ireland, Zimbabwe. So now you let that kusume in your mind about West Indies cricket, and you could imagine what is going on in the graves of the greats that has passed in this regional entity called West Indies cricket, the last unifying force of the region. That these players decide to put on this big thick gold chain and color their hair and think that that plays cricket, where you want to open your shirt and walk in style. And walk in style with a big thick gold chain and your hair all how and think that that plays cricket. Right? You look good and you might get called for a T20 tournament somewhere and you make some bread. So when you're saying heads must roll, Skerrett, Simmons, it's a little bit more than heads must roll. Cricket have to come straight back down. And good morning to Scotiabank. Thanks for your contribution to cricket in the region. And come straight back down and build again. Because one of the areas, and listeners, if you looked at the games, the way West Indies players got out in those games, I'm not even sure they can make a win ball side in the Miaro win ball cricket. You know? Because it just was like you were trying to out yourself. Congratulations to some of our bowlers who showed great tenacity and who was on point and was focused. So, recommendation 1 from Seine Talk: no gold chain and a good haircut and no color in your hair for players on the West Indies team. Full stop. First recommendation. Second recommendation, Skerrett, try not to make no comment. Hire a public relation spokesperson, let them make the comment, you work in the background. Don't talk. When you talk, you get persons perturbed. My dear brother Simmons, I know it hard. I know it hard. And I know the comments you're making is to be palatable to the press and to the international media. But I have a fair idea of what you said in the dressing room. So, brother, I feel you. Right. So, West Indies cricket, recommendation from Seine Talk: no gold chain, and comb your hair correctly and groom your hair correctly to play cricket. Recommendation number 1. We'll talk about the rest as the weeks going forward. Right? On the front page of today's Guardian, listeners, all right, Hassan Ali's doubles owner held hostage by bandits. 25 minutes of terror, assaulted and robbed during home invasion. How sad. Also on the front page of today's Guardian, the Law Association of Trinidad and Tobago asks AG Armour for info on Nelson's indemnity. Very, very serious. Extremely serious, listeners. And on the back page of today's Guardian, Simo, and that is our brother Simmons, the coach of the West Indies team that was ousted from the T20 World Cup down under. We were outplayed. And that's why I say, brother, I feel you. All right? But some good news. Good news in the world of sports on today's Guardian. Goal shoot. Afisha Noel produced 32 goals from 34 attempts to marshal Trinidad and Tobago Calypso Girls to a 50-40 win over Barbados to remain unbeaten at the Netball World Cup 2023 America's qualifying tournament in Kingston, Jamaica. Well done to our Calypso Girls and well done to Miss Noel. Excellent, excellent. Right? Let me just read a comment from the West Indies coach. I think when you sum it up, we were outplayed in all departments today. They bowled well, we batted well at the start, but didn't carry on. And they just batted well and batted us out of the game. West Indies head coach Phil Simmons. And, of course, a great picture on the back page of today's Guardian. St. Benedict's College, Malachi Webb left battles for possession with Presentation College San Fernando captain Dorrell Young during a Tiger Tank Secondary School Football League Premiership semi-finals at the Otto Boland Stadium in Couva. Yesterday, St. Benedict's won 5-3. And don't let the score tie you up. Presentation College was mauled. Presentation College was outplayed. Presentation College does well when they have players from Mayaro. Fact. Right. So let's move on to the front page of today's Express. The Vincent Nelson fiasco. Headlines on the front page of today's Express. Armour must answer. Story by Ricky Ramdas on page 3. All right. And also on the front page of today's Express, the Law Association called on AG to respond to these 6 questions and more. 1. Whether the former Attorney General participated or was involved in the actual collection of evidence for the purpose of prosecution. 2. Whether Vincent Nelson continues to be the recipient of legal fees from the government after he made a statement against interest in the criminal investigation. Whether the fees referred to in the indemnity agreement relates to fees that were procured in a manner that was subject to criminal investigation and or the subject of the statement against interest made by Nelson. Question number 4, whether the procuring of the indemnity agreement, the former Attorney General negotiated a plea agreement, which is the exclusive remit of the DPP. 5, why did the former Attorney General enter into an agreement with a potential witness in a serious criminal matter involving a political opponent, which requires the party to conceal evidence from Parliament? And the 6th question on the front page of today's Express, a detailed account of all funds paid to Nelson and his proxy, servants, or agent, including his attorney arising out of the indemnity agreement, together with appropriate vouching and justification, including legal fees, fines or outstanding fees, taxes or lieu paid on his behalf. Now, to the Law Association of Trinidad and Tobago. Anyway, later on in the program, of the 6 questions you asked, I would like to add 2. Because within those questions, I am not seeing anything as it relates to members of the Law Association who was involved in the overall matter, right? And anyhow, that is our 3 dailies. And you know what, listeners? The murder count in our beloved Twin Island Republic. And remember, the crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago is one for great concern. And I applaud the efforts and the initiatives of the TTPS as they try diligently to address this situation. Good morning to the Miaro Police Station and all officers on duty at this time. Good morning to the Municipal Police of the Miaro Clara Regional Corporation. Right? And we know that persons out there call them the ticket police. Right? But you can only get a ticket if you are in breach of an actual anyhow. So that murder count stands at 477 at this time. 477. And you would remember that right here on Seine Talk, we spoke of the actions that were taken in Jamaica as it relates to guns and arms, and the punishment as it relates to being held with guns and arms illegally. And I'm saying one of the points that one must take into consideration of what happened in Jamaica was the fact that the opposition and the government of the time came together, and every single member was in support of actions, in particular against guns. How sweet and how good it would be if we could have that kind of cooperation in TNT as it relates to crimes and in particular illegal firearms, which is causing most of those 477 deaths, murders here in our Twin Island Republic. How sweet and how good. What a dream if both opposition and government could come together to support legislation. The TTPS asked for legislation, for the continuance of legislation, brought forward, and they did not budge. So we hope, we really, really do hope that there is a change of heart and understanding that we need all hands on deck to deal with this crime situation. And with that point, to our brothers in Tobago, who will be coming together in terms of the minority leader and the chief secretary to convene talks on crime in the Sister Isle, I'm saying that is an excellent, excellent, excellent start, and that augurs quite well for the people of our Sister Isle. And I hope that here in TNT and in Trinidad, on this island of the 2 islands, that that kind of cooperation can show itself, whereby both opposition and government can come together to add positive vibes going forward towards this crime situation here in TNT. I mean, it's it is difficult, and we are coming to the Yuletide season where needs and wants, and so it's something that all hands on deck is needed at this time as it relates to crime in TNT and to curb this murder rate. So we're gonna a very strong Sister Andel, who's gonna come on together with Mr. Devon Matthews, and we play this one because I know that it's one of the favorite of the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. So good morning to the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And we here on Seine Talk dedicate this song this morning to you, sir, and to all members of Cabinet and all persons in authority across Trinidad and Tobago. We say good morning, and we take this one for you.
To Rio Claro, to Guayaguayare, through the coconuts of Manzanilla, to the fine sands of Queens Beach. This is your station on the Eastern Peninsula, Mayaro Radio, taking Mayaro to the world.
Even though the road is long. And listeners, at this time, we here on Seine Talk and Mayaro Radio would like to extend Happy Diwali to the Hindu community, not only of our region, not only of our nation, but to the Hindu community across the globe. As we know, on Monday, across the planet will be celebrating the Diwali, the Festival of Lights. And for those who don't know the story of Diwali and the significance and the fact that the drinking of the poison, because if that poison would have touched anywhere on the planet would have been destroyed, and drunk that poison in terms of saving, in terms of that whole aspect, as we say it, and we commonly know it as light over darkness, good over evil, right? It's important in terms of this Festival of Lights that it symbolizes that level of purity, that we see good and strive for goodness in all that we do. So the preparations for this holy festival is in terms of cleaning, in terms of welcoming, that goodness, that light, the fasting that goes in terms of the preparation to get to that celebration. It's a time whereby in the Hindu community, and it spreads across our land in such a positive way, that it's a time, yes, where we share that prosperity, all right? And of course, we in Trinidad and Tobago, the fact that it's a multicultural, multi-ethnic society, and as it says, where every creed and race finds an equal place. Extremely important. So again, congratulations to the Hindu community on the celebration of Diwali, which the public holiday is on Monday. So I wish you the holiest and the best of celebrations in terms of the celebration of light, and not just only light over darkness, but more so good over evil. And in Calypso History Month, the song that I have chosen in terms of this Calypso History Month and the recognition of the Hindu community and the contributions of the Hindu community to Trinidad and Tobago, I leaned to the rudder for this one.
Let me tell you a story about their pain and their glory. Oh yeah. Many rivers flow to this naked eye, bringing fear and pain, but also a brand new style. And of all these rivers that shape this land, two mighty ones move like a sculptor's hand. And today those hands across the land, man, is still landscaping.
Yes. The Ganges come meet the Nile, and that was David Rudder. And of course, we know that at this point in time, it is such a great time. And it coincides in terms of the Festival of Lights, because coming up on November 1st and 2nd, where we have All Saints and All Souls. So, I mean, there has to be some kind of connectivity that it may not be in layman terms as it relates to the celebration. So, to the Hindu community, Shuk Diwali, and may you have a great and wonderful time in the celebration of the Festival of Lights. So at this time, we want to get our first interview on this morning, and in terms of getting a feel of what's happening, what's going on, and hearing from organizations across our region. So as to make sure that we get a perspective, and because false information seems to get out so much quicker than facts and truth. And one of the things that we would like to take care of here is to make sure that the truth gets out every time. Hello, good morning.
Hello, morning.
Morning. Listeners, we have on the line with us here at this time is Mr. Elias Hyman. Mr. Elias Hyman of the group LEAD of Guayari. Pleasant good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Wendell.
Great. And first of all, before we start off, can you tell us what the acronym LEAD stands for?
Lasavan Environmental Development Association.
Sorry, we didn't get that. We didn't get that clearly. Can you repeat, sir?
Lasavan Environmental and Development Association.
Great. So Mr. Hyman, we know, first of all, I'd just like to kick off by getting an update, because something that was mentioned on Seine Talk already was the fact that I think it was described by one person as a huge ball of tar that came to shore there in the Guayagari area. And of course, we know tar would be a byproduct of petroleum products, and in relation to that huge ball of tar, and the fact that your organization, being environmental, was one of the organizations who was reaching out in terms of getting that situation addressed based on what would have happened as it relates to that, or the impact that would have had in terms of the environment there in Guayagari. Can you give us an update on that, as described as a ball of tar that came ashore? Can you just give us an update on what was the final thing with that situation?
Okay, so first I must say thanks this morning from Niaro Radio on Seine Talk for all the listeners. Thank you for having me. I'll go right into it. The tar that came ashore, it's really oil from offshore, that an oil spill that is actually put the buoy around, and they put chemical into it and sink it. That will actually reach to the bottom of the sea and start moving with the current. We don't know how long it takes to reach on the shore, Palma Pass. But we reported to all the operators in the area, also the EMA, Ministry of Energy, and what I'm going to say here, some people might doubt. I think we are going into close to 3 months now with that. It is still there. The EMA take their hands completely out of that. Ministry of Energy, they decided to hire a contractor to deal with it. I believe the contractor is was the company that take over from Petrochemia. I don't know that name.
Heritage.
Heritage, right. So Heritage then hire Kaizen Environmental. And it seems to me after Kaizen came and do the site visit, the whole heap of the tar oil business that came ashore, it actually mashed up in pieces, about chunks like 2 feet pieces, 4 feet pieces. All them see in their eyesight is how to make money. So they decide an excavator have to come, a backhoe have to come, with a trailer truck. So that is mob and demob. When I understood what was taking place, because the Ministry of Energy actually came to my office approximately about 5 times. I tell them I still wait a while. As an environmental organization, this thing could happen manually. Where I live is right there. I have my dwarf coconut trees plant, my rough-skin sour lemon, my sticky fig, and all these things that I already bearing and I am enjoying. I am not going to make anyone put any excavator to mash up that when I know for a fact that we can manually pick it up, put it into something as long as you have one proper mass and whatever, and that could be removed, even with just as maybe a dump truck or something like that. So that never happened. It's still there. In fact, some of the fishing folks down at the seawall, they have seen that material as road material. And it might be strange to hear that. They have taken it up and go and break it up and build a road with it. Some of them.
So,
Not so.
so Mr. Hyman, so currently, some of it has been removed.
Yes, some of it have been removed, and it just went approximately about, let me say, 500 or 700 feet away. And the fishermen, where they're coming up from on the beach, and their foot getting mud on it, they take it and they break it up and they put it and the sun come out on it and kind of melt it back. And they are walking on that bare feet, not knowing what kind of chemical it is. But most of it is still in the river.
All right.
Because the sea actually back it into the river. Now, the Ministry of Energy, they had done a sample from it, and strange, after 120 years of oil in Trinidad and Tobago, we still don't have any lab in Trinidad to test that. So they sent it away, and the result came back. I had sent an email asking for the facts that come from the lab, and they told me, yes, I will get a copy of it. And about 6 weeks ago. Still waiting for that.
So in conclusion, as it relates, because we have a number of things that we want to discuss. In conclusion, based on that matter, you said that personnel from the Ministry of Energy visited your office on more than 3 occasions, right? So what was in terms of the last visit to your office, what was the conclusion or what was stated by personnel from the Ministry of Energy?
On the last occasion, they had bring Kaisim Environmental, and the site visit was already done. So it was only to do the removal. And that didn't happen.
All right. All right. So that means that there's some follow-up to do as to find out what's up with that. So we wanna move on and make sure that we capture a lot of things based on also the time frame that we have working with here. So Mr. Hyman, at this point in time, there are a number of things that are happening within the Guayguayari area. And of course, one of the things that is actually a great thing, it's that at the port of Galiota, there is increased activity. And of course, increased activity lends itself to greater, greater call for services and amenities to complement in terms of the increased activity at Port Galiota. So from your perspective or from where you sit, can you say how that increase in activity at Port Galiota lends itself to the community or to your organization at this point in time?
Okay. Not at, I will say not at present, even approximately about 3 years ago, when Boxo Trinidad had gotten the contract for the energy port. They had dealt with my organization and MMSU. So the riggers, the banksmen from Miaro, Guayguayari is there. It is nothing much to talk about, approximately about 8 persons. But the activities that are taking place right now, for some of the boats that is there, we are not benefiting from it. In fact, what's taking place right now, NESE, they have, remember that port is an NEC port. They have a lot of things that they want to do. It's understood that by now and January, BPTT will be using that port on a regular basis coming January, which we really and truly appreciate, because we know if that happens, then automatically the pipe yard that is in Labico would come back up to Galiota. So what is taking place now, all those traffic, is because of subsea with that 12-inch pipeline. Plus we have Perenco using a boat service to carry their workers out there, and Trinity. So it have activities, but the community as whole not benefiting fully as yet, unless that pipe yard reach back into Guayguayari, then we will see plenty more activities coming towards the community.
Great. So I like how you stated as yet, so which means I'm like where you're thinking we are seeing the glass as half full and not half empty. So as yet. So as we continue, in terms of what is taking place currently, how do you see in terms of what are some of the challenges LEAD is facing at this time, or what is happening as it relates to activities outside of the direct port situation? What are some of the challenges you guys are facing, or what is happening at this point in time?
at present, I mentioned Subsea 7. They have the contract from BPGT. Now, I just need to let you and the viewers know that contract is approximately 150 million US dollars. The truth is, only last week, when I made the attempt to rent the community center and invite all the fishermen that have boats go out there, not to cause any havoc, but to go and fishing right where the pipeline is passing. Because they didn't get anything from that. The community, Miaro, Guayguayari, did not benefit from that. To say, really benefit from it. All we know that a pipeline, a 12-inch pipeline is going from the terminal to Kashiasi. The people that really benefit from this is the people from Shagarama, Port of Spain. And it's only when they heard what I'm going to do, they call us and tell us they're giving us 3 persons on one of the service boats. That happened on Wednesday going there this week.
But can I just intervene there, Mr. Hyman? Now, in terms of doing projects, there is the certificate of environmental clearance. There are also consultations that are held within the community before these projects go on hand, which gives the community an opportunity to raise concerns and questions as it relates to these activities. So are you saying that in this project, that did not happen?
Okay, it happened. We had the consultation, we had the CEC done with this project, but I need for the listeners to know that this project, 4,500 miles away, Subsea 7 had gotten that project from straight out there. And the contract that they got, just for a reminder, yesterday they sent back a letter to me. It is the work Trinidadians, not the people at the Miaro Guayguayari area, the area of impact. And as I mentioned in one of the meetings that take place on Thursday or Friday, and the Mr. Paul Hammer answered me back straight, and he sent it in writing. I told him, I know you got your contract from 4,500 miles away in the UK, and you, or maybe out there, they have considered us as a third world country. And maybe in your mind, we are indigenous people that eat from a trough. But we just want to make sure we make it clear to you. We had had oil since 1902 to now. So what you are doing is nothing strange to us. And we don't eat from trough. And Mr. Hammer, some sort of contribution needs to be done to at least compensate us. Because I have sent 27 persons on that project, and you only hire 2 of them. So, let's put this together with it. Something, I wouldn't say strange happened. After 38 years being part of this community, aggravating, burning tires, doing all these things. Today, I can tell you all that BPTT has finally put things in place for us. Because that team that BPTT have now is Giselle Thompson, Brian Sitram, Matthew, Joel, trust me people. they had organized for us that in the future, and I'm talking about maybe next month, any contract that's taking place in this part of the community, 70% of the labor force must stay within the community.
Hold on there, Mr. Elias. Hold on there, Mr. Elias. In case somebody was closing their fridge or getting something in their fridge, we don't want nobody to miss out on the statement that you just made. So could you kindly restate the statement you just made for us?
So we had a meeting on Tuesday with the BPTT team. And coming out of that 3 hours meeting, everyone had left that meeting with their chest high up in the air and feeling good for what we hear. Because now, in every contract, BPTT Trinidad and Tobago is making sure that in every contract, the community of Miaro, Waya, Goyari, 70% of the labor force would stay in this community, which is great to hear.
Excellent.
The fence line contractors is the one that's going to benefit as long as they can do the job. Actually, since Tuesday to now, I think I have been sleeping very good. Just knowing that our cry and plea was not just on deaf ears. That team that BPTT have had dealt with that. And I'm saying thanks very much to that team that deal with that for this community, Miao, Waya, Wayari.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So in light of that good news, let us hear some of the let's say, what should I say? The goals or what is up as it relates to LEAD for the community of Miaragari going forward. What happens or what are some of the plans that you guys have in terms of, because that aspect of development as it relates to the region here, what are some of the plans that you all are looking to put into gear in the near future?
Okay. So from this Subsea 7 project, we are sent a proposal to BP asking that they ask Subsea 7 to spend approximately 1,400,000 in the community, and that is not money that would be handed to someone financially. What we realize, it have a lot of young people that's coming out of school, the age 18 to 20. Parents don't have the money to pay for any prerequisites or skills for them. They are educated enough, they are physically fit, so we are asking some multi-skill them persons. The cost for that is approximately $54,000, and we are looking at, from leader point of view alone, I don't know from the other team, 40 persons. So if we break it down, divided by 7, we should end up to approximately $200,000 US. 40 persons would get trained from that multi-skill training, which means to say you wouldn't just be a rigger, you would be a banks person, you would be a scaffolder, you would be able to do some blasting and painting, you'll have your pre-C, you'll have your T-boss there, you'll have your Cora Medical. So we do that listing, and that is the cost for any one of the 4 community parents have to put out in order to get one of the child out there to make a day work.
Mr. Hyman. Sir, one of the things may I say there is that you must have a documented criteria for inclusion. Anytime things like these happening, all of a sudden, I am from somewhere else in Sweet TNT, but I'm from Guayagari now because something sharing. All right, I come from a home where both parents are gainfully employed, but I come to Mr. Hyman's office crying blood, sweat, and tears. There must be a screening process and a stated, documented criteria for persons to qualify for that. That's just some advice on the side. So that's wonderful. So it's something encompassing that would have been done prior in terms of something like the Journeyman program where MIC featured multi-skills in terms of aspects. And I love the idea and where that is going and the benefit that can bring, because some years ago, it was a point stated that we did not have qualified youngsters within our region. And now that is a myth. That is no longer that way. On every street within our region, there is someone who would have completed tertiary level education. So the fact that you are pursuing opportunities for our youngsters is one that must be complemented and, of course, must be recognized. But my next question to you, Mr. Elias, based on what you just shared with our listening audience, what and how is your interaction with other organizations in the community?
That's a very good question you asked here. With LEADER, we have a open door policy that when you are registering with us, we would ask the question on our registration form. Are you affiliated to any other NGOs? And depends if the answer is yes. If it is a village council, we would still register you. There's only 2 groups in Miaro that actually recognized by BPTT, and I would say nearly most companies that deal with when coming to hiring people from the community. It's LEADER and MMSU. So if you are from MMSU, I would say no. If you said you're from one Miao, your answer would be yes. If you say you're from any of the other village council, your answer would be yes. You will get to register. Reason: I know for the past number of years, it is 2 entities that do most of the training that companies recognize with our NPO. It's myself and MMSU. So most of the skilled persons come from us. So whether you are from a village council, you are from one Miao, and when saying so, one Miao was set up in a way that anybody throughout from Rio Claro to Manzalina, you can come to one Miao and register without no cost at all. Now, with my organization, as long as you're from within the Miaro Guayguayari area, you can come and register without any skill. If you are outside from the area, you have to bring something to the table. So when we speak about dealing with other organizations, we have our open door policy. If other organizations don't want to have the conversation, it's up to them. We are not the government of Trinidad and Tobago. We are not politically inclined. And we just say it straight. We are not affiliated to any political party. So you can come to our office if you want to register, or you can make a call to our office and you can register online. That is how simple we have it.
Right, so Mr. Hyman, at this time for our listeners and for the audience out there, can you give that contact number on air, please?
The contact number for my office is 344-4224. I say it again, 344-4224.
Right, great. Listeners, you got the number there, 344-4224. And we see that 4 is going 4 times in that number. We hope that the playway stigma that is nowhere attached to the number, to your contact number, because I find 4 coming 4 times. Too much 4s. All right. So, yeah, great. So continue, Mr. Hyman.
Yes, so I heard the conversation last week with some of the village councils, and while some of them had spoke about things within the community that they want to do, but wanting to do something and doing something is 2 different things. And I just need to share this. In 2019, I got shot. 3 years and 7 months. When that happened the first time, within the first 3 months, my membership dwindled down to about 20. And after I came from the hospital and I called my membership and said, listen, man, life have to go on. What don't kill us going to make us stronger. And we start back from there. And today we are strong enough that we can actually do anything on our own. It have things in place if the village council want to do things in this community. At present, we have community development. They're giving out grants. They have no ceiling on the grants that they're giving out. All them have to do, every village council is supposed to be registered or affiliated to that government office. So it's not that your hands is tied, you cannot do any training, you just don't want to maybe. And I'm not here to bash them, but come out as president and do something. Today we have our fish landing facility. Some people say a white elephant. All the nice ideas that everyone is coming up with. Fisheries is the owner of that now. Could we do a fish restaurant there? There's a seafood restaurant. Could we, as an organization, really and truly utilize that? We have so much that Guayguayari have to offer, as some of them mentioned. But it seems as everybody want to go down the same line to look for jobs. And while we have no problem with that, have 2 entities already dealing with that. Our community, most of the young people in Guayguayari right now, I would simply say a good percentage, approximately about 40 of them, is on serious marijuana. I heard they mention they go on the block and they talk with some of them. You know what I am doing with some of them right now? I am sending them to do the plea and asking them to come off of that marijuana because of the plan that we have pushed forward that by 2023, this place they call Miaro Kwaigwe, we're going to have a lot of jobs going and take place. That new president that is coming, Mr. Campbell, is going to do offshore drilling. If we need to move forward as a community, we need to move forward with our youth. Let us work together and get them doing something. Not try to cut down one another. I had tried with one of the sporting teams while they're a registered group. That night cricket, they wanted to get their uniform to attend that cricket competition. They have sent the letters to the village councils. They didn't get through. They tried on their own. They didn't get through. Mind you, that team affiliated close with the village council. And when they call on me and tell me the situation, I said I'll get it done. And within 2 days, I got it done, but not under their letterhead, under leader letterhead. It was done in 2 days' time. I then take money from our coffers to pay for that registration for that team. And that team resided in the Newlands area. Some of the players now are registering one by one, two by two, coming towards the organization. If organization as the village council do not pick up their mantle, I am saying this to the membership, come to leader and we will try and help. That 40 persons that we are going to train, we would make sure that it comes from Miaro, Waya, Wayari.
Great. So going forward, continuing to go forward, I want to use the sentence that you stated. One, you are not here to bash anybody and you're willing to work together in terms of unifying and getting more for the community, all right? And also pointing out that the roadway in terms persons should travel, and that is okay. The fact of the matter remains that united we present a better front rather than any internal squabbles among ourselves, because that has been in terms of global activities, in terms of the conquerors, in terms of those who were the colonizers, was really to create a kind of mayhem and discord among the members. So in other words, so I'm happy to hear that it's an open door policy by leader, and the fact that you're willing to work together for the development of the region as a whole, and that is great. But in terms of one of the statements that you made, that there are two organizations within the community that is dealing specifically with labor, can I ask, and you are not bound by any of my questions per se, but can I ask, what is the relationship now between leader and MSU?
Leader and MSU, we are allies.
Great.
We speak sometimes from 2 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the morning.
Great.
We're talking about AM.
Great.
So that is a relationship that we have, that link, that close link.
Right, great. So I want to butt in one time, because the greatest son in terms of entertainment from our region comes from Jamaica. And if one listens to Robert Nesta Marley's songs, he warns about that. And I am happy. And listeners, I hope you concur with what was just stated there. In that, the relationship is cordial, it is tight, it is great, and there's an open line of communication. And as the brother just stated, from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the morning, you know, those times are, most persons are sleeping. So it means that while they have their hands on the steering wheel continuously, and that is wonderful. That is wonderful. So at this time, Mr. Hyman, right, I want to give you an opportunity to share some good things. Now, we know that we have challenges in our region. All morning we spoke about the challenges from the ball of tar that came ashore, not getting the information as to what exactly is going on with it, the possibilities coming, and you already stated some great news in that in the near future, there would be an escalation of opportunities as it relates for work within the region here. But outside of that, I want you to share with us and the listening audience in terms of an LEAD policy or the way they think, some good news in the near future. When I mean in the near future, I mean from now to Carnival.
Okay. So as was mentioned from since the last meeting, leader, we are going to buy a crane to do crane operation training. And that is something going to happen. What we are looking to see take place is other, I feel, not only other organizations, other companies, as how BP actually putting things in place for us to make our work more easier, to make sure that the community develops. We need to get Perenco on board. We need to get Shell on board. We need to get EOG. Now, EOG is on board with us, but they still have some policies that we need to change. And I'm saying we need to change some of EOG policies. We need to change some of Perenco policies. While EOG every year would spend $60,000 in training on us, city by city, the ceiling is really 30,000. But we will get it twice a year. And we can still call on them to do like after school drive and different things like that. But when coming to bring the contractors to the table, as what BP will do, EOG tends to falter on that. As the question was asked, while me and them, we have that good cordial relationship. But I did ask community liaison person, maybe a little protest to speed up the process here. And she said, no, Mr. Hyman, let me deal with that. And I sent her back a straight letter to our bosses, letting them know that EOG, most of the operation is within the Guaya Miao area. And we need for you all to tell your contractors, these are the two labor groups in the area, and how much percentage must stay here, because we are the area of impact. But let's skipping from EOG into Perenco. Perenco every year, they would give us approximately 9 PC courses. Christmas time, they would give us hampers. They will give us back to school. But Perenco have that same policy. They don't want to bring the contractor to the table. And at present, Perenco have a rig out there, Dylan. They have Adon, they have Pukaram, or what they call that company. And they have over, the POBs about approximately 275. And my organization have no one out there. So definitely, something would happen this upcoming week. And I think Perenco is willing to work with us. And then we go to Shell. Shell, for the longest while, Shell had shown that disrespect. For the past 6 years, we have not even get as much as a button from Shell. Right before Shell came across from British Gas to Shell, when it was British Gas, it used to work out good enough. But now Shell is there, and Shell is saying something different. So I'm saying this to most of the listeners. It is something that we have to deal with. If we don't deal with that within this week coming, early next month, Shell need to bring the contractors to the table, because on every day you would see 2 or 3 25-seater full with people going in to Shell to work, while the community persons have to just stand and watch them go by. Mind you, our organization, for some main reason, after we lost that heliport in Galiota, I don't really want to go down that reset button and start blocking the road. We have our plans to go forward, and I think if other organizations think as how we are thinking, Miao Guayguari will be a good place to live.
Great, great, great. So thank you so very much this morning, Mr. Hyman, for coming on board and sharing some of the things. And we know that this is a conversation that has to continue, because so many would have been stated that we'll have to follow up on and to see what's happening and see how things are going. And in terms of your plan, again, I'd like to comment on the fact that the possibility for training the youngsters and, of course, setting up that specific criteria document that could be shared or posted on your website or whatever, as it relates to how you access that, because it must be that you have proof of the fact that you are indeed from the community. So I love those ideas that were shared, and of course the fact that the open door policy and willing to work with organizations once they are on positivity and development. So congratulations to you. So I now give you an opportunity to make it 2 final statements as we close this morning's interview, and we're sure that we must have you back to continue this conversation.
That would be a problem. Listen, I just want the listeners to know that a human being, that 10 is 70 years. 70 years is 840 months. I'm saying that because tomorrow, please God, I will be 60. That is approximately 708 months. And life is so short. I have spent nearly 2 decades in this community doing organization work. And it's more a give and take to me. It's only that now I'm realize that. Are you there? Hello?
Yeah, we with you. You go ahead. We hearing you.
Yeah, I only realized that now how BPTT think, other companies will follow suit and clone what they are doing. And definitely, we are looking towards a better Miao Guayari. In my closing statement, I'd like to say thanks to Seine Talk. Thanks to all the viewers. And don't hesitate to come on board. My contact number is 376-4735. Please don't call me 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, listeners, now that timing is for MSU discussions. So we're not taking calls at 1 o'clock in the morning. Right.
All right. Thank you all.
Great. You have a good day. And on behalf of Seine Talk and us here at at Miaro Radio, we'd like to wish you a special happy 60th birthday. That is cause for celebration. So we hope that you have a great and grand one. And with over 300 members, we are sure that that gift is going to be a fabulous one. Because if over 300 members put $2 each, we know that you're going to have a great day. So thank you again, Mr. Hyman, and all the best to you and your organization.
Okay, brother. Thanks, Greg.
So ladies and gentlemen, there we heard from one of the organizations within the community that is involved in so many things. We heard some of the plans, what is happening, and what came out of a meeting with them and one of the companies that is doing exploration and production within our region here. In fact, they are the largest producers of gas in TNT at this time. And that was some great news, because it's important to find out what is happening, what is going on, and what are the possibilities in the near future. So we like to continue on the program, and at this time it's a little bit sad. It's a little bit sad, but it's information that we must share with our listening audience. And before I do that, I just want to play a little bit of Sparrow. As you know, we are in Calypso History Month at this time. And of course, before we do that, we want to share this news and this information with you as it relates to the passing of our dear sister. So at this time, we're going to touch on a verse and chorus from the Calypso King of the world. All right, now born again, the Sparrow.
Somebody dare give us cause to shed a tear and mourn, for they are gone. Now all that's left is a faint memory, based on the theme of a strange melody. Still, we must think of them and recall their image with pride, telling people from deep inside, this is dedicated to those who died. But in his
yes, listeners, a great sister, and for those of you who would have tasted her hand, she would have cooked many meals. And of course, I have a former co-worker from Point Fortin, who always talks about when he comes to this part of the island, he must go and check her out. We'd like to announce the passing of our dear sister Vadi. And of course, the funeral information has not come to hand as yet. And as such, I'm unable to share with you when the funeral service of our dearly departed sister will be happening. But we will keep you abreast, and of course, even on Miaro Radio, during the weekend and stuff, when that comes to hand, we will share that information. So to family and friends, and to her daughter in particular, the wife of our good partner there. And we would like to express sincere condolences. She is a life force within the community, and our sister would have passed. And I mean, her impact is felt. So we must celebrate the life of our dear sister. And also, on Tuesday coming will be the funeral service of Nelson Sydney, all right, and that would be at Belgrove in City on Tuesday from 11 o'clock. So again, condolences to the Sydney family, And of course, that would mean the Guy family, a huge family. So the passing of Nelson Sidney and his funeral would be on Tuesday at 11 a.m. at Belgrove. I think there's a viewing at his home prior to going to Belgrove, because the capacity at Belgrove is really small. So there will be a viewing at his home there first before going to Belgrove. So the passing of our dear sister and our brother, condolences to family and friends, and we'll keep sharing that information. So that is it as it relates to that. So we just continue with another verse and chorus from The Sparrow.
And though we pray, now and then thoughts will stray to that dear one who has since passed away. So for this kind of fun, while you're jumping up, take a break. Try and take in the song I made to remember for old time's sake. Rudolph Charles, I'll always remember, jumping when the steel band passed, playing mass, sugary, peppery, he was never ever one for class. Yeah, Rudy, wherever you are, come there just for you. Are we gonna get them real thunder this year?
Yes, listeners. So, rest in peace, our dear Sister Vadi. Listeners, I got a little text coming in here. And I was saying, well, wait, this person making a mistake. Not realizing that they were trying to be, how to put it, boy? They were trying to share something to show the gravity of the situation. And it lends itself to, hear what they stated. Seine Talk, so you could get dog and gun and go and hunt in Edricona Park. I wonder, wait, what is that? Listeners, Edricona, and we would have shared that here, is one of the most famous persons from our community in terms of the world. All right? And of course, actor, singer, composer, just putting things together. And there in the mother country, as some persons say, in England. And of course, our park was named after that person, Edric Connor. And in my lifetime, it is the, what to put it, boy? It is the highest level of grass ever has occupied the Edric Connor Park, our most famous citizen in my lifetime. And may I take this opportunity to share with you, and it is good, listeners, right, to give credit where credit is due. And while this person sent that to me, this was also the position of that has to be addressed. And I say this, it's not a matter of taking sides or anything, is that the chairman of the Miaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation indicated the very same thing and instructed that action be taken as it relates to that. Yes, because come on. The Edric Connor Park, our most famous citizen, is not just an eyesore at this time, but is a specific eye pain. I say no more. All right? Right, so we know we're coming to the end of Seine Talk, but I must mention a little bacchanal. As you are aware, Tutor had its elections this week, and the former president of Tutor has gotten time to rest and reflect. So the former president of Tutor has gotten a lot of time to rest and reflect, because there is a new president of Tutor. So the rest and reflect president of Tutor has gotten time to rest and reflect. Also, as I stated earlier at the beginning of the show, the Law Association put out 6 questions which was tabled on the front page of one of today's dailies. But Law Association, is there a 7th and 8th question as it relates to the activities of 2 of your members? Is there any statement about that, or the fact that what they did or what happened is sanctioned by the Law Association in any way? Or you all see nothing wrong with that? Or is there any statement that's going to be coming out as it relates to that part of it? Or everything is on everything else except those 2 esteemed members? All right. So again, as we close, funny how time flies on this program now. We will have to make overtures to the management to increase the time slot, because apparently the 2 hours is running so quickly. But in closing, listeners, it is important that each and everyone gets an opportunity to share what they think or how they see things. And if you may not, or if you do not agree, that is okay. That is okay. However, it must not be construed, or it must not be taken that persons are not allowed to share their view or opinions on things. That is extremely important. And in a democratic republic, as our beautiful Twin Island Republic is, it is important that everyone be given an opportunity to be heard. However, it is even more important that honesty be the order of the day. And as my father said, when persons say honesty is the best policy, and I told you this on this program here, I was thrown back when my father said that is one of the most doted statements that a person can make. And I was thrown aback, knowing the kind of person that I think my dad is, and I know and persons that have said, how could he say that someone saying honesty is the best policy is one of the most doted statements someone can make? And then he quantified and qualified his statement by saying honesty is not the best policy, honesty is the only policy. So I leave you with that today, ladies, and thanks for tuning in to Seine Talk. We look forward to seeing you next week, and we must do, in the last day of the Calypso History Month, we must do Miaro in Calypso. Alright? Because that crazy have connections in Miaro. We know that all those contacts come from Faizabad, living Grandy. He love hanging out in Miaro. Right? When he sang Woman on the Bass, it's a Miaro and he's singing about. So when we do the Miaro Calypsos next year for the closing of Calypso History Month, Soupy go be starting out. We have, oh gosh, my neighbor, Zandoli, man of double anta. So look forward to next week in the closing of Calypso History Month. And of course, in closing today, again, we wish Happy Diwali to the Hindu community. And in terms of the Festival of Lights, good over evil, light over darkness. Have a blessed and great one. Thank you for tuning in. Seine Talk out.
Kings of Foreign Sound System presents Jah is my best friend, featuring live from Jamaica.